Hey guys, so maybe you noticed last time in our video we had these like green stripes on the screen in the footage, and about that time while we were traveling we started to realize we were having a problem with our SD card. They kept saying like SD card failed and we weren't sure what to do. We're Googling how do we fix it, but it just goes to show, like, even though you're planning a trip and you're recording it, not everything always goes to plan. So for this episode, we're going to tell you about the 5 times when van life didn't go well. Some of those times include when we almost killed our dog.
Teddy.
Spoiler alert, he's fine. We didn't kill our dog. We're Will and Lisa, and we're the Empty Nest Projects.
And this is Teddy.
We sold our house and put our stuff in storage, and now we're on the road having some new adventures. Subscribe to follow along. Okay, so the first time that van life didn't go well. So let me give you a preface first. A bunch of the times that we're traveling, I'm working. So we're traveling around, and for 3 days every week I work, and we usually stay in one place while I'm working. And we don't film a lot while I'm working because I'm working. The first time that van life wasn't going well, we were staying in the Humboldt State Redwoods, and we were at a campground. And the Humboldt State Redwoods are not that far from the coast, Northern California, but it was summer, and we just happened to be staying there when it was like 96 degrees.
90 degrees, living in a van with no AC. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, but we kind of were doing okay in the sense that, like, you know, we had a lot of trees above us and a lot of shade, and so I made it through that first work day, working in the van. But Will went exploring while I was working, and he came back and said, hey, I found a river
that we could hang out in. It was about, I don't know, it was considerably cooler by the water, and the water itself was beautiful. It was clear. Was it clear? It was clear. It was beautiful, and so you could get in and cool off. And so when Lisa finished up work, that's where we headed.
Yeah, so we went down to the river. Plus, we also thought it would be a great place to park the van because we were under trees in the campground and we were not getting any solar. So we said, okay, we'll park it in the sun, charge our battery, and get in the river and cool off. And, you know, we were really worried about Teddy because it was hot and he has a fur coat.
We were encouraging him to he doesn't like the water, but we were trying to get him in. We were splashing him with water, trying to get him to the edge to cool off a bit. He did drink a little bit from the river.
When he finished working, it's 90 degrees or whatever.
And we found a river access where it's nice and cool.
You head to the river.
The water's pretty.
Wow.
It was about that point when we found out about the
toxic algae
bloom and how it was deadly to dogs.
So a lady came walking by with her dog, And she was like, oh yeah, I never let my dog go in this water during the summer because of the toxic algae. And we were like, the what? So basically, like, if your dog runs through the water or drinks the water, all the splashing allows the neurotoxin to be released. And I guess if they drink a lot of the water or later when they groom themselves, they'll lick like all that toxic algae toxin off and they can die like pretty quickly. So we felt terrible
for encouraging him to get in the water and splashing in the water.
But luckily for us, Teddy hates the water and refused to get in. So he did not splash around and run through the water, and he ended up being okay.
But we did spend the whole evening like
staring
waking
at
up
him
and checking on him, making sure he was still breathing, all those things.
Yeah. So the second time Vanlife wasn't going well was in the same place, in the redwoods. And that was because we weren't getting any solar, and we were really stressed out about the battery because I was working. I had my laptop plugged in. We were using the WeBoost for the
yes,
cell
I think
signal.
we were.
Yeah, we were using the WeBoost for the cell signal, and we needed the electricity in order for me to work. So by the last day of my work, we had like 9% battery or something crazy left. We knew I wasn't going to get through the workday. So basically, we decided we were just going to get up at 4 in the morning and drive to a Starbucks in a town north of there and work from, their patio and drink their coffee and use their Wi-Fi and hopefully get some more solar power. Okay, the third time Vanlife wasn't going well was when we headed out after Will worked, because we always drive back for Will to work his one time a month, 4 days in a row at the hospital. We headed out through Eastern Washington and we had booked this KOA. Now, we've stayed at a lot of KOAs because they have Wi-Fi, showers, laundry, and it makes it really easy for when I'm working. So again, this is a time when I'm working. We booked the KOA in Eastern Washington. Well, we get there, it's in the middle of nothing. There's a river right next to it, but other than that, there's nothing for miles. Not a town, not a cell phone signal, anything. So we ended up being like, okay, well, let's try it. It was super windy. We were in a camping spot next to some guys who were really drunk. I mean, completely wasted. And they were talking super loud. And I was like, okay, let's try to move sites, get a different spot. So we did. But the Wi-Fi was terrible. And, sometimes when the Wi-Fi is bad, we just use the WeBoost and we use the cell signal. But there was nothing for miles. So that day we ended up having to leave that campsite and just drive further east to a town. We went to a college town where we're like, there's bound to be a coffee shop with Wi-Fi. There's, plenty of cell signal. So that's where we ended up staying. Vanlife in a hotel. Wait, it's not Vanlife.
Hotel life.
Hotel life.
Travel life.
Travel life. Travel vlog day whatever we're on. We're in a hotel because the campground sucked. The Wi-Fi sucked. The people next to us were really drunk and really loud. And it was super windy. So we said, you know what? Let's go to this college town where there's at least 2 Starbucks. And then after we decided to do that, we said, well, we might as well stay in a hotel. And then we said we might as well stay 2 nights. The 4th time that van life wasn't going so well was while we were going through Idaho. So we headed, like I was saying, we headed east through Washington, and we headed through Idaho with this plan to eventually get to Yellowstone. We didn't know anything about Idaho, and we kind of decided, okay, if we're going to go through Idaho, let's try to see these specific things that we researched. But the fire and smoke from the California fires actually were blowing into Idaho, and it was so bad that we ended up having to change our direction. And there was a fire in Idaho right where we wanted to stay to see the stars at night. So we ended up going all the way south to Boise and then over. But again, the smoke was so bad, we couldn't stay at the campsite we had booked. And we ended up getting a hotel in Idaho Falls so that I could work. Again, the issue comes up when I'm trying to work. And we had good Wi-Fi at the campsite in Idaho, but we couldn't stay there because the smoke was so bad, and we're like in the van and we're breathing in the smoke. So we had to just head to Idaho Falls, book a hotel, and work from there.
Yeah, like it smelled like someone was smoking cigars outside of our van the whole night. It was pretty gross.
Yeah, smoke is rough in the van because we don't have like air filters and we're pretty much breathing in the outside air. The fifth time that van life wasn't going so well was when we realized suddenly the van would not shift gears into drive.
It was stuck in park. Every time I'd put it in park, it was hard to get out of park.
Yeah, so we had this happen to us in the middle of a drive-through coffee shack thing. Mm-hmm. So in the Pacific Northwest, there's all these little coffee shack things that are drive-throughs. This one was really cute. It looked like a coffee mug, and it looked like it was on the property of the owner's home. Like, there was a little path to looked like their house. And then we just pulled up on the side to order the coffee. Coffee was delicious. And then all of a sudden, the car wouldn't shift gears, and we were stuck in park. Will was turning it off, restarting it. Finally, he got it to work. And well, you can see what happened.
Down some Americano with 2 shots.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
You can always add more water into it, make it a 12 ounce.
This is fun. I like this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. What'd you do?
It won't shift gears.
Are you pushing it down on it? Don't break it. What? Is there some kind of lock? What does this button do? No.
It's set or race. There we go.
Phew.
Oh look, it's back.
Oh my gosh. I thought we were going to be stuck there for a minute. Oh, you just hit that bench. Oh my gosh. Now you need to apologize.
Struggling.
I can't believe you.
It was a little bench.
Yeah, and you just ran it over. Now you have to go apologize.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What did he say about the bench?
He said, oh, don't worry about it. He said, that's just an old bench that we put a plant on once in a while. And I put it out there so people don't cut the cord too tight and hit he's pointing to the little counter thing.
Oh. This ended up being a reoccurring problem, and we had to look on YouTube for some way to fix it. And so we got kind of this way to like pull down, what is that called?
We had to take the dash, the lower part of the dash, and there was a manual override for the safety.
We ended up having to stop on like the side of the road near this coffee shop that was about to have a 5K race. And we're like pulled over in the middle of their start, like near their start area. And Will's taking off the dash, and he put this like long, what did you put?
String of zip ties.
Oh yeah, a string of zip ties, one after the other, so that he could close the dash and then just pull on it when he needed. And we had to do that for the rest of the trip until we could get back to Washington and have someone fix it.
There we go. Those sometimes van life isn't all about Instagram and and sunset views.
Yeah, so those are the 5 times that van life didn't go so well. And you know, if you're watching this, maybe you can learn from us and not let your dog play in toxic algae or avoid smoke and fires.
So I would also first like to say this video today is about the times when van life hasn't gone great, but I am so grateful for the opportunity that we've had to get to travel around, and there's been so many awesome things about it and amazing. We met some amazing people, been to some great places.
All right.